How often do you ponder about the impact of climate change on our planet? It's a question that's been echoing around the globe, and for a good reason. Climate change isn't just some abstract concept for future generations to grapple with. It's here, and it's happening now. Imagine a world where the average global temperature is on a steady incline. It's not a sci-fi movie script, but our reality. Over the past century, our planet's temperature has risen by nearly 1 degree Celsius. Now, that might not seem like much, but even this small increase is causing a ripple effect on our environment. Take the polar ice caps, for instance. Once vast and unyielding, they're now melting at an alarming rate. This isn't just bad news for polar bears and penguins, it's a global issue. As these ice caps melt, they're causing the sea levels to rise, which puts coastal cities and small island nations at risk of flooding. But the effects of climate change aren't limited to the poles. Around the world, we're seeing more intense and frequent heat waves, causing droughts and wildfires. We're witnessing stronger hurricanes and typhoons, causing devastating destruction. And we're observing shifts in seasons and wildlife behavior, disrupting ecosystems and agriculture. The consequences of climate change are far-reaching and complex. They're affecting our health, our economies, our security, and our way of life. But perhaps the most significant impact is on the world's most vulnerable populations. Those who have contributed the least to the problem are often the ones who suffer the most from its effects. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. We're at a crucial point in human history where the decisions we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. The science is clear, the evidence is compelling, and the need for action is undeniable. The magnitude of climate change compels us to act, but how have we responded to this call? As we delve further into this discussion, we'll explore the birth of climate change activism, the rise of movements like Extinction Rebellion, and the role of the UK in global climate agreements. Stay tuned. In the face of such a global crisis, individuals and groups have risen to challenge the status quo. The seed of climate change activism was sown in the latter half of the 20th century, a time marked by growing awareness and concern for our planet's health. Among these early pioneers was the Earth Day movement, which first germinated in the United States in 1970. It was a day dedicated to teaching and learning about environmental issues, a moment of collective awakening that soon spread across the globe. The United Kingdom too felt the resonance of this call to action, with many Britons participating in this day of environmental recognition and responsibility. Around the same time, another powerful force was taking shape: Greenpeace. Born in the basement of a Unitarian church in Vancouver, Canada, in 1971, Greenpeace rapidly grew into a global movement. It was a bold, direct action group that put itself on the front line to protect the environment. Greenpeace's audacious campaigns and dramatic images captured the world's attention, and the United Kingdom was no exception. The UK's first Greenpeace office was established in 1977, becoming a vital hub for environmental activism. The role of the UK in these early movements may have been smaller than some, but it was significant nonetheless. The country was beginning to find its voice in the global chorus calling for action against environmental degradation. Yet it was not until the 21st century that the UK truly began to take the lead in the fight against climate change. A new wave of activism was about to sweep over the nation, a wave that would see the formation of some of the most influential climate change groups of our time. But it was not until the 21st century that the UK truly became a leader in climate change activism. The coming years would see a rising tide of passion and protest, a wave of change that would ripple out from the UK to touch every corner of the globe. In 2018, a new group emerged on the scene: Extinction Rebellion. This group, often referred to as XR, was born out of a desire to disrupt the status quo and bring attention to the urgency of the climate crisis. Extinction Rebellion was conceived in the UK by a group of activists who were tired of the lack of action on climate change. They decided to take matters into their own hands, adopting a more confrontational and disruptive approach. The group's founders, Roger Hallam and Gail Bradbrook, had a vision to compel the government to act on the ecological crisis through non-violent protest. From the beginning, Extinction Rebellion's tactics have been designed to cause maximum disruption. They've blocked roads, glued themselves to buildings, and even staged a mass die-in at the Natural History Museum. Their goal? To create enough of a stir that people, and more importantly governments, can't ignore the climate crisis any longer. And it's fair to say they've been successful. Just 6 months after their formation, Extinction Rebellion managed to bring parts of London to a standstill with their 2-week-long protest in April 2019. Over 1,000 people were arrested, but the group's message was heard loud and clear. Extinction Rebellion's impact has reached far beyond the UK. Today, they have groups in dozens of countries worldwide, from America to Australia, and their symbol, the hourglass within a circle, has become a globally recognized emblem of climate activism. Critics may argue about their methods, but one thing is hard to deny. Extinction Rebellion has brought the climate crisis to the forefront of public consciousness. They've forced us all to confront the uncomfortable truth of our ecological emergency. But they're not done yet. Extinction Rebellion continues to push for systemic change, demanding that governments tell the truth about the climate crisis and act accordingly. They are a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in the fight against climate change. Extinction Rebellion has certainly made waves, but how has the UK government responded? The UK government has not sat idly by in the face of climate change. On the global stage, the United Kingdom has been a key player in international climate treaties, demonstrating a firm commitment to addressing this global crisis. One of the most significant contributions of the UK to the global climate change discourse was its role in the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement, which was signed in 2015, was a landmark in global climate policy. It marked the first ever universal legally binding global climate change agreement. The UK, as part of the European Union, was instrumental in shaping and driving this agreement forward. But the UK's commitment to tackling climate change doesn't stop at international treaties. The national government has also made clear its dedication to reducing emissions. Chancellor Rishi Sunak, a prominent figure in the UK government, has made several notable statements on the importance of addressing climate change. He has emphasized the need for a green recovery from the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, stressing that economic recovery and environmental sustainability should go hand in hand. Sunak has also highlighted the economic opportunities presented by the transition to a green economy, arguing that this shift can drive job creation and economic growth. His statements echo the broader government commitment to achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. This ambitious target is a testament to the UK government's seriousness in tackling climate change. However, it's important to remember that commitments and targets are just the beginning. The real test lies in the implementation of these goals. And the UK government has indeed shown some progress in this regard. It has invested in renewable energy, promoted electric vehicles, and introduced measures to improve energy efficiency. The UK government's actions demonstrate a commitment to addressing climate change. But what does this mean for the future? As we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to hold our governments accountable for their climate commitments. Because after all, our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow. As we look to the future, what can we expect from climate change activism in the UK? There's a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. Climate change activism, once the pursuit of a passionate few, is now a global movement that's reshaping our society. In the UK, this transformative wave is only expected to gain more momentum. So what exactly does the future hold for climate change activism in this part of the world? One key area of focus will undoubtedly be increasing public awareness. Activists will continue to reach out to communities, schools, and businesses, spreading the word about the urgency of climate action. They will strive to make climate education as commonplace as learning the alphabet, because understanding is the first step towards making a difference. The activists' next goal, pushing for stronger government action. They will continue to demand transparency and accountability from the UK government. They will push for more ambitious carbon neutrality targets and stricter enforcement of environmental regulations. The government's responses to these calls will play a crucial role in shaping the UK's climate future. But the activists' work won't stop at awareness and policy changes. They will also promote sustainable practices in our everyday lives. Expect to see more initiatives encouraging us to reduce, reuse, and recycle. More emphasis on renewable energy sources, more eco-friendly products, and more sustainable food choices. The activists will work tirelessly to show us that every action, no matter how small, can make a big difference. In conclusion, the future of climate change activism in the UK is bright and full of potential. It promises to be a journey of collective effort where every citizen plays a part. It's a future where the voices of activists aren't just heard, but echoed by millions. The future of our planet hinges on our actions today. It's up to us to make a difference.